What is the definition of a reset? A reset is basically to set things back to their original place. Sometimes you might set a watch back to its default settings, or you might, in some ways, reset a relationship, start all over again, or reset to a previous time period. When you have a computer, the first thing they say is don't set the computer back to a previous time. They say leave the clock alone. Make sure you move it forward, not backwards. And, you know, with the things that are happening with the travel space, you're starting to see a global reset. Just last week, a Filipino vlogger by the name of Pro Life Traveler, aka Sims, was kicked out of Dumaguete and put on a persona non grata list. A previous YouTuber in the Philippines who was Russian, his name was Vitali. He was just deported and banned from the Philippines, never to return. And I say this when I make this point is that anybody in the travel space right now is in the midst of a reset. And whether you believe it or not, there are a lot of countries that are starting to turn against Americans. And you could feel it. You could really feel it in the air right now because the global situation is in peril with America. And global powers are starting to shift away from Americans. When I was watching the news, I looked at Europe trying to protect Greenland. What does this mean for us? It means that global powers are now shifting further and further away from the United States. And when that happens, you have the issue of nobody actually wanting us to be expatriates in their country. And one of the issues right now with the shifting alliances that we're having in the global world, there's going to be a devaluation of the dollar. And you could bet your ass on that too. With the shifting global powers and the tariffs and people not traveling as frequently as they are, you're seeing the travel airlines shifting from economy to premium economy. So they want you to pay more. Spirit is going out of business. So there's no low cost uh, airlines to take you from A to B. You just pay the premium price now. A lot of things are shifting, and a lot of people that made benefits off of traveling and low cost carriers are now going to find themselves having to pay even more and being inclined to spend less in the countries that they visit. And even with me, I sniffed this out real quickly in 2023 because I felt as though something like this was going to happen. And that's one of the primary reasons why I decided to get my passport and go to the Dominican Republic, because I knew that once we got to this space, it's going to be harder and harder for a lot of people to travel overseas. And they're going to make it a point by using these so called YouTubers that have traveled all over the world. And, after a few years after COVID and a few years before COVID. So between 2017 and 2022, you had 3 good years to travel low cost. Some even traveled to Europe low cost through low cost carriers like Norse and Play, which was another airline that offered low cost flights to Europe. You're now seeing them being completely wiped out, having to cut routes, having to leave airport terminals because nobody is buying the demand anymore to travel to Europe because people cannot no longer afford to travel to Europe the same way. You have a situation where people are paying premium economy, and then you have airlines on the other end of the spectrum. They're shoring up, ordering more planes for overseas continent to continent flights, long haul flights, what we call them. And they're shoring up by ordering more Boeing 777s and more A380s to carry large amounts of passengers continent to continent. So the shift right now in the travel community is long haul now, because they feel as though they could sell more tickets long haul carrying over 900 people or 1,100 people on a flight versus an A321 that's carrying from point to point instead of hub to hub. Now, I'm going to explain that in another video, the difference between point to point and hub to hub. And one of the things is, you know, the travel space is emphasizing more long haul, which means you're going to be paying upwards to $800 to $1,100 for a plane ticket. And that's going to be the end result of it. But as far as the YouTubers and people that are in the travel space right now, the biggest point that I want to make about what's been going on in Southeast Asia and in Latin America with YouTubers being, targeted and basically kicked out, you're starting to see another big shift in how YouTube uh, arbitrarily bans accounts. Um, just last year, just a couple of weeks ago, Giamo Jackson Carter had his channel completely wiped out, mainly because he sold goods and services. And what does that mean? Goods and services, unregulated goods and services means prostitution or drugs or any miscellaneous product that is illegal. He was promoting it. And because he was promoting it, they decided, okay, we can't allow this on YouTube. You can't have your OnlyFans put in a YouTube video. You could put the link in the description box, but you can't put it in the video. And because he put it in the video, that flagged it. The content ID flagged it and took all of his videos down. Another thing that's been happening, especially in the Philippines, you're starting to see white white expats and white content creators being kicked out. And mainly it's because the Philippines has certain rules and regulations about recording people, and especially if minors show up in your videos. Problem with Pro Life Traveler wasn't his content, it was what he was doing that made him a magnet for the Philippine authorities and the anti-cybercrime unit of Dominican Republic. The problem is, well, and well, not the Dominican Republic, but the Philippines. Excuse me. The problem is that a lot of Filipinos worship white expats, and because they worship white expats, they're now facing an issue where white expats are now becoming very disrespectful to Filipino people. And now the Filipinos are now clamping back at white expats who misbehave, and they're kicking them out of the country. Now, I can assure you, one of the things about Filipino culture is Filipinos are very hospitable people. But if you make them lose face, then they will get angry and then they will attack. And you never want to piss off a Filipino, because thing about Filipinos is Filipinos are very proud people and they don't play when it comes to their culture. This is a country that has dealt with 300 years of colonialism, first by the Spanish, second by the Americans and the Japanese. They are proud, resilient people, and there's certain things that Filipinos are not going to tolerate, and that is disrespectful white expats. And the thing about white expats in the Philippines, they feel as though they can run things and they could do whatever they want to do. And problem with that, because of their white supremacist, white colonial mindset, they go there and they exploit poor Filipinos and disrespect their communities. And the tide is starting to shift in the Philippines when it comes to disrespectful white tourists. You know, now, do I think this is a good thing or a bad thing? But I think this is, to me, I think this is a good thing, because now we're starting to see Filipinos not worship white expats like they used to, which is a good thing. The more black people start going over to the Philippines and Thailand and Southeast Asia, they're going to see a much, much bigger appreciation for us than they will for the white expats. And you're starting to see old white expats leave the Philippines because they're getting tired of the Philippines. They're getting tired of Thailand, which means for us as black travelers and black expats, um, that leaves the door open for us to start putting ourselves out there and being appreciated. But make no mistake, if you're a black traveler and you're a black expat and you think you could do exactly what the white people do or the white expats do, you're sadly mistaken. And this is where another main point I want to get back to with the reset. Don't think you can do what the white guys do in these other foreign countries because you'll find out very quickly that they're going to have zero tolerance for your bullshit. And I say, learn from the lessons from Vitali and Pro Life Traveler that if you have disgusting behavior and people know who you are and you put yourself out there as a target, they're going to find you and they're either going to put you in jail or they're going to extort you or they're going to tell you you can no longer come back to the Philippines or to Thailand or the Dominican Republic or to Colombia. They will find you, they will flag your passport, and turn you back around. Because if you go out there and you do something stupid, it's just going to be a mark against you. And like I said, some people playing around thinking that persona non grata lists don't exist. If you're a representative of your country and you're traveling, you're coming to another country, you're an ambassador. You're not an ambassador on the same level as somebody that works for the State Department, but you're an ambassador in that you're a tourist from another country that's looking to enjoy their country and the beauty of their country. So you have to be very, very careful what you do. Don't disrespect the culture. Don't disrespect the customs. One of the things that I hear a lot in the PPB space is that there's an attack on black male travelers, and that's totally untrue. And I feel like we take this American entitlement and bring it with us everywhere we go, and we assume in these countries that they're attacking us simply because of our race. No, it's not because they're attacking you because of your race. They're attacking you because you're disrespecting the culture. And when you disrespect the culture and you disrespect the people, just like with Jay Rello when he went to Kenya and said all the women in Kenya were trash and saying shit like that, same on the same level as somebody like Pro Life Traveler when he was going around calling Filipino people monkeys and primates and all that shit. When you start doing stuff like that, you put a light on you to where people do not want you in that country. And if people make enough complaints, you could be completely excommunicated from that country, exiled, you know? And it's a real thing. Don't break the laws of that country. Know the laws in that country. Everything is about culture, not color. And when I say culture, not color, you have to meld in with the cultural aspects of the people. Remember, you're not in your home country no more. You can't do everything that you want to do in somebody else's country because where something is legal in your country, it's illegal over here. You might smoke weed and be casual smoking weed in your home country, but over there, it's life in prison. Over there, it's the death penalty. You do it in Singapore, you get a caning and you get life imprisonment. Now, I don't have to tell you about Singapore and drug laws because Singapore got the strictest drug laws in the world. They give people the death penalty for drugs in Singapore. And that's the stuff that people don't understand because they don't do their homework. They don't try to understand different cultures, how other cultures work. They just look at somebody else's video and take it as gospel, and then they go over there and then they make the same fucking mistakes that previous people have made. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like the PPB content that is being put out because it's misinformation and there's no gatekeepers within that community. And now you got a lot of content right now that is starting to be anti PPB, and now it's like okay, now they're putting a broad stroke on a whole entire community. But I only tell people on my channel what to look out for, what to watch out for, and what to do, and make sure you mind your manners. It's like when you go over somebody's house, you ain't never been over somebody's house. You mind your manners. You don't put your feet on people's couches. You don't put your feet on somebody's table, somebody's glass table, or somebody's sofa. You just don't do that shit. You know, you have to respect the rules of the house. Go in, you take your shoes off. And Asian culture, if you go in somebody's house, you don't go in somebody's house with your shoes on or your flip flops on. You take your flip flops off and you walk barefoot because everybody in Asia walks barefoot when they go into people's houses. It's just a sign of respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the issues that I feel like needs to be talked about. And the last issue is about YouTube because, most of this stuff with YouTube right now is starting to be very arbitrary. And I wanted to really talk about YouTube a lot on this video because I don't know where I'm going to be taking my channel. I'm still going to be posting, but I'm going to be a little bit more methodical in what I post. YouTube has become uh, very flooded and saturated with bad content. And with that flooding of bad content, you have the devaluing of other people's videos and channels, and most videos that are informational not getting recommended in YouTube's algorithm. And as much as they say don't complain about the algorithm, but the problem is, being that my channel is very small, I have several videos up that I've posted. Some have hit, some have completely missed. Most do not get recommended through the algorithm. And I think that is a very, very big problem. I have people that I'm subscribed to. I'm not able to get their channel to come up on my timeline because of how the user interface of YouTube is set up. There used to be a time where in YouTube, when you go into a playlist, you would have rows and rows of video. Now, when you go onto your timeline or you go onto your favorite playlist, they have the videos going down in a straight line. How are you going to find your video if it's going in a straight line instead of the rows? Back then, they had the columns and the rows. So they have 3 or 4 rows of videos that you can go through and watch on your playlist. Now you can't do that, which I think is which is a very big tragedy because when you want to watch a certain video and you save it to your playlist, then the video doesn't pop up the way you want it to pop up. So I've had to take initiative to make a list of all the channels that I watch to make sure I don't miss a video on a particular playlist. It's hard now to find videos that you put up yesterday in your timeline. And then the thing about the timeline, which is the videos that pop up on an hourly basis, you can't get those videos as well as the videos that come out right when they upload. So say for instance you have somebody that you're subscribed to, you watch their videos all the time, and you click the bell notification, but still their videos don't pop up on your timeline. I've had that situation. People that I follow, I can't find their videos on my timeline. And that person done posted 3 videos that week and I never got to see them. Never got a notification that they were going live. It's a very big problem with YouTube. YouTube has to fix that. Another thing that YouTube has to fix is how they flag different videos. We talk about sexually explicit videos all the time on YouTube and how they have to be community friendly or child friendly and all this other shit. But then you see other accounts where they're bikini clad women and their videos are still up and their videos are still posted. But somebody that posts up another video and their account doesn't expressly say 18 plus, their videos get flagged or their video or their whole account gets taken down. So it's kind of like an arbitrary thing. You have videos out there that have dangerous stunts in them. A lot of early 2020, you saw a whole litany of car content. People posting up car content and getting thousands, 10,000, 27,000 views on a video. I thought that was crazy and insane because every time my timeline will pop up, there will always be new car content video, new burnout videos and stuff like that. Would come up on my timeline and I'm like, why am I getting this? And then it's like when I watch one video and like one video, they put up another car content video or they recommend another car content channel and it be the same shit. Is something really wrong with YouTube? And you know what? I realize, long form content is constantly being suppressed, where short form content is getting more views. And that's problematic because now you're seeing short form content have more viewership and go further than your regular content, your short form content. Videos that's 10 to 30 minutes long. You can't do them anymore. Sometimes I've had to find myself having to work within 20 to 30-minute videos and not long form videos. And I've had to cap that because every time I put up an hour video, the metrics of the views go down further and further. I've been posting up videos consistently, like since last month, 10, 11 videos at a time. And even when the consistency is there, it seems like the viewership is not always there. Like again, I thought the algorithm rewards consistency, and it doesn't. You put up all these videos, your subscriber count doesn't grow. I've had this channel for almost 6 years. I only have 100 some odd subscribers, but you know, I find it to be very odd that even with the videos that I have about 5,000 views, it's not hitting the way that it should. And I should have already been towards 1,000 subscribers by now. But I understand. I understand. YouTube is not about content creators anymore. And I think it's time that people start realizing that and start building their own platform and start building their own apps and having other people subscribe, like true fans subscribe to their content that are willing to pay. But, you know, YouTube to me only functions as one thing, and that is as ad revenue, as an ad machine. You see, when YouTube first got started, YouTube was about content creation, putting up real funny videos and cat videos and shit like that. Now it's been 22 years now. It's been 22 years, well, 21 years. And most of the videos now you put up, they don't get a lot of they don't get a lot of views. And it's like with the flooding of content, you got to be able to find those videos right then and there. You're not going to be able to catch every video on YouTube. I understand that shit. But that's besides the point. The point is the structure and the user interface and how we view video content has to change. YouTube has to change that strategy so that it feels more, so that the user interface feels more interactive with the person that's watching the videos. Um, but when Google brought YouTube, it functions more like ad space rather than creative video content. And you're seeing more and more content creators starting to move off the platform. Not because they dislike YouTube, because the platform isn't being fair in how they value creativity and content creators. One of the biggest things that's hurting YouTube right now is a lot of AI videos. I don't like AI videos, and I know a lot of people dislike AI videos, but the problem persists with YouTube and how they deal with AI content being put out. And I feel like, I predict that in the next couple of years, this shit is about to get worse for content creators. So my suggestion would be to slowly move off the platform and build your own content creation, build your own content distribution platform so that you don't have to keep constantly depending on YouTube revenue and click through rate, you know, because that's what's going on right now. Is too many problems. And I'm trying to be a creator, but I find myself oftentimes feeling like, you know, I'm putting all these videos out there and I want people to hear my voice, but if nobody's hearing my voice, then what good is putting the video out? Very simple. That's another episode. And, I think I'm going to just scale back a little bit. I think it's time. Not saying I'm gonna stop putting videos up because I'm still gonna be putting some videos up. No doubt about that for the people that do follow me. But I'm not just gonna be as heavy as I need to be because I feel like when I lean into it too much, it takes a lot out of me spiritually. So now I'm just kind of like, okay, let me ease on back. Let me ease all the way back and focus on other situations. But this is Media Talks TV. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe. And I throw it up when I throw it up. Peace.